The glass shattered against the kitchen floor. A jagged scream of crystal that echoed the crack in my chest. I stood frozen, the wine bottle still clutched in my hand, its neck dripping red onto the tiles like blood from a wound. Sarah's heels clicked on the hardwood, a defiant rhythm, as she grabbed her purse from the counter. "I'm going to the party, David," she said, her voice sharp enough to cut through the haze of my shock. "We'll talk when I get back." The door slammed, and the silence that followed was heavier than the argument we'd just had. She was gone, and I was alone with the question that had been clawing at me for weeks. Who was she really meeting tonight? The air in our apartment felt thick, stale, like the breath of a house that knew too much. I sank into the couch, the leather creaking under my weight, and stared at the coffee table where her phone had been moments ago. She'd taken it, of course, but not before I'd seen the notification light up the screen. A text from Mark. Just his name, no message preview, but it was enough to twist my gut. Mark, her coworker, the one she'd mentioned too casually, too often, with a smile that didn't belong to me. I'd asked her about him during our fight, my voice trembling with a mix of accusation and dread. "He's just a friend," she'd snapped, her eyes darting away, her fingers tightening around her keys. "But friends don't text at 10 p.m. on a Friday, do they? Not when your husband's standing right there, begging you to stay." I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe I was paranoid, seeing shadows where there were none. Sarah loved me, she'd said it 1,000 times, her lips soft against mine in the quiet moments before sleep. But lately, those moments had dwindled, replaced by late nights at the office, vague excuses, and a distance in her eyes I couldn't bridge. I poured another glass of wine, the liquid trembling in the dim light, and let my mind replay the signs I'd ignored. The perfume she wore only on certain days, sharp and unfamiliar. The way her laugh sounded different when she was on the phone, lighter, like it belonged to someone I didn't know. The lipstick stain on her collar last week, a shade of crimson she swore wasn't hers. "It's probably from a client lunch," she'd said, tossing the blouse into the laundry with a shrug. I'd believed her because I wanted to, because the alternative was too heavy to carry. The clock ticked past midnight, each second a hammer against my skull. I paced the apartment, the hardwood cold under my bare feet, the city's hum filtering through the cracked window. I imagined her at the party, some upscale loft downtown, all glittering lights and clinking glasses. Was she laughing with Mark, her hand brushing his arm? Was she whispering something in his ear, her breath warm against his skin? My fingers curled into fists, nails biting into my palms. I wanted to call her, to demand answers, but pride, or fear, kept my phone untouched on the counter. Instead, I opened her laptop, the screen glowing accusingly in the dark. I didn't know her password, but I didn't need to. The browser was still open, logged into her email. A mistake, or maybe a taunt. There it was, buried in her inbox. A thread with Mark, subject line tonight. My heart thudded as I clicked. The messages were short, cryptic, but damning. "Can't wait to see you. Wear the black dress." Her reply, "Only if you behave." A winking emoji. My vision blurred, the word swimming. I scrolled further, each line a fresh stab. Plans to meet after work. A photo of them at a bar. Her head tilted against his shoulder, her smile radiant. I slammed the laptop shut, my breath ragged, the room spinning. How long had this been going on? How blind had I been? I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark, the wine bottle empty, my thoughts a tangle of rage and heartbreak. I loved her, God help me I still did. But love wasn't enough to drown out the betrayal. The way it burned through every memory we'd built over 5 years. The proposal in the rain, her laughter as we danced in our tiny kitchen. The promises we'd whispered under the stars. Had it all been a lie? Or was this just a mistake, a fleeting lapse she'd regret? I wanted to believe the latter, but the evidence was a noose tightening around my hope. At 6 a.m., the door creaked open. Sarah stepped inside, her makeup smudged, her black dress wrinkled. She froze when she saw me, her eyes wide, guilty. "David," she whispered, her voice cracking. "You're still up. Where were you?" My voice was low, dangerous, a stranger's. "I told you, the party." She set her purse down, avoiding my gaze. "It ran late." "With Mark." The name was a blade and she flinched. It's not what you think, she said too quickly, her hands twisting together. He's just. Don't. I stood, my body trembling. I saw the emails, Sarah. The picture. The dress. Her face crumpled, and for a moment, I thought she'd cry. But she didn't. She straightened, her jaw tight, and met my eyes. I didn't mean for this to happen, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. It just did. The confession hit like a physical blow, stealing my breath. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to beg her to take it back. Instead I asked, "Do you love him?" She hesitated, and that pause was an answer in itself. "I don't know," she said finally, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I love you, David, but things haven't been right with us. You know that." I did. The fights, the silences, the way we'd become strangers sharing a bed. But I'd thought we could fix it. I'd thought love was enough. "Get out," I said, my voice breaking. Now. She didn't argue. She grabbed her purse and walked out, the door clicking shut behind her. The silence returned, but it was different now, final, like a grave. I sank to the floor, the tiles cold against my skin, and let the truth settle in. She was gone, and so was the man I'd been. But in that moment, a new thought flickered, sharp and cold. I'd seen her lock screen last night, a new code I didn't know. What else was she hiding? And as the sun rose, casting long shadows across the room, I realized the betrayal I'd uncovered was only the beginning.